Hi guys, we have a fun craft for you today. So we are going to test out a new method for pressing flowers. So typically when you press flowers, we're talking like a 3-week time period. And sometimes you have fading of color when you do that. So this is a method I found on a crafting website called lilyardor.com. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I will link that in the description below. And it's a really fun, easy, quick method of doing this that gives you a vibrant color to your flower and also gives you a really nice, thin pressed flower. So the things that she uses, she has these fire bricks. So these are fire bricks that you would use in a kiln or if you had a fire pit. They are just basically going to be used in the microwave. She has paper towels that she uses, flowers, obviously. We don't have flowers at our house because we have a severe bee allergy, so I bought a bouquet of flowers from the grocery store. Some scissors to cut your flowers, and then we will eventually need a frame of some sort because we're going to be framing these pressed flowers as our end product. So I happen to have this type of frame. I've had this for a while and used it for different things. You can get these frames that stand up and can be used. I think the purpose of it is to have a picture on each side, but they're picture frames. They're for $1 at IKEA. So really good deal. So I have a couple of those, and then we also will need a hot glue gun to glue our pressed flowers onto our picture frame at the end. So really simple. You can probably get away with one of these bricks if you have a bread wheel or a pizza stone, if that fits in your microwave. So I did a little test here. I wanted to see how it worked. So I took here, let me clip a similar flower here so you can kind of see what it started out as. The one I had was pretty thick. I don't know if I have another one that was quite as thick as that one, but it started out like this, but it had, it was more three-dimensional, I guess. But you can see that it maintains the vibrant color, which I was really impressed with, and it gets it to be fairly thin, which is really good for this project because we're going to be putting it in between two panes of glass. Mine is plastic in my picture frame, but that way it's not having a big gap in between those frames. So there is my test. I'm really anxious to kind of see how the thicker flowers do. So let's get to testing here. I have a variety of flowers here. All right, so I'm going to take one of my bricks, put a paper towel down, and then I'm going to put my flower there. I'm going to kind of open it up a little bit. One petal there that wants to fold over. I'm going to put the paper towel there, and then the other brick. And one of the things that the blog mentioned was to not press this other brick down. Her original thought was, oh, I'll press it down and help flatten it out. And she ended up just crushing the flower. It didn't look as nice. So resist the temptation to do that. All right, so now we're going to pop this in the microwave. Depending on the thickness of flower, she has various suggested times in the microwave. So she did hers from anywhere from like 1 to 3 minutes. So the bigger or thicker flowers definitely took longer. And so she maybe would do like a minute or two with both bricks on. And then she wanted at least 30 seconds with the brick off, because with the brick on, it kind of traps some moisture of the flower in there. So to kind of dry it out, you want to take that top brick off. But you will leave that both pieces of paper towel in there because it just kind of helps things stay flattened and not wrinkled. So it helps protect that. So I will probably do 2 minutes with this thick one. I haven't done a thick one before. We'll do 2 minutes and see what it looks like, we'll take a picture and I'll show that. So let's go do that and we'll be right back. Okay, so we ended up doing 2 minutes with the top brick on, and then I took that brick off, and I ended up doing it for 45 seconds then after that. I could tell right away though when I opened the microwave after the 2-minute mark that the top brick was flat on top. When I first took it over there, it was pretty obvious that there was something lumpy in between. So that definitely flattened out. So I'm kind of curious to see how this turned out here. All right, so let's take a look at this. All right, I think that turned out pretty well. Okay, so now I have yellow and yellow flowers. I need to pick something a little different here. It's kind of having fun trying different colors. I should probably mention I wasn't big into pressing flowers before I saw this method, so maybe there are tips I'm missing from just general flower pressing knowledge. If so, you can let me know in the comments below, but I think this is working pretty well. Maybe we'll do a couple purple ones. I think as long as they're all the same thickness, same color, that you can do multiples. Maybe I'll do some purple ones for my daughter's room here. Okay, so we have 4 there. I'm going to put my little flower sandwich back together here. All right, let's put this in. I'm going to probably put this in less time than the yellow flower that I did. There is a little bit of thickness to it, but not as much. So maybe I'll do 1.5 minutes with the brick on, take that off, and then do 30 seconds to 45 seconds with that brick off. All right, so here are the purple flowers we did. I ended up starting with 1.5 minutes with the top brick on. I did 45 seconds with the brick off, and then I kind of peaked. And they were a little thicker still, so I decided to put the top brick back on and do another 30 seconds. And I'm pretty happy with that. So, yeah. I mean, I think that's a really nice color. This is a nice method when you don't have time to wait 3 weeks, especially if you wanted to gift these to somebody. I also think there is a lot of potential for paper making, to embed these flowers in your paper making, especially with the vivid colors that they have, which I think is really great. All right, I do have a white flower and I have a red carnation here. So let's see. One thing the blog post mentioned about the white flowers is to be a little more cautious with those because they're white. They can kind of brown up a little bit when you quote cook them in the oven or in the microwave. So it said to kind of check on those every 10 seconds or so. So let's do one of these carnations here. I don't know if I should do one sideways and then one, I don't know. See, this is where my inexpertise, yeah, this is gonna be hard to do from the top. Ooh. Yeah, that looks pretty thick, so I'm kind of curious how this one turns out. I mean, I also thought our first flower was a little thick too, but we'll see. I don't think I could do this. I mean, that's obviously very thick if you do it this way. And I think if you cut this bottom part off, it would the petals would all just kind of come loose. Let's see. I guess we'll do it on the side and see how that goes. I have two of those. I suppose we could just do both of those right away. Well, I'll be a little brave. I'll try and cut this one, and if I ruin it, I ruin it, I guess. Yeah, I can feel that coming loose. But I don't know, that could turn out pretty cool. We'll see. It is loose to kind of open it up. We'll experiment, see how it goes. All right, let's check on these. I ended up doing 3 minutes with the top brick, 45 seconds with the top brick off. And this is what we have. So I think that turned out pretty well. I thought maybe I guess this was a pretty short little flower. And it was really thick. You can kind of see how it's thinned out there, but it is, you know, quite a bit thicker than any of the other flowers that we pressed. But it also, you know, quite a bit thicker to start with. I think I like this one that I cut open better. Because I think I might be able to, yeah, I can just move this in. I think that'll be a fun one to do. If you wanted to really like play around with things, you could almost layer this yellow one like in front of it. Ooh, that could be fun. I think that's maybe what I will do for mine. All right, so I'm going to stop at this point because I have smaller frames and I don't want to have more flowers than I can use. All right, so I'm going to get my frames out. And this is where I will want to get my glue gun out and plug that in. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So while that heats up, I am just going to arrange my flowers where I think they're going to work best here. Since I'm using some yellow flowers and I have a yellow placemat out, I'm actually going to just put some white paper towel here so I can see what I'm working with better. All right, so I definitely want to use this carnation because I think that turned out really cool. You can see I probably made the mistake of putting both the carnations in at the same time. I think it would have been fine if I had cut them both the same way, but since I cut one on the side and I cut the other one so that it would lay flat, this one probably needed less time, and you can see it started to brown there where there is white, which is what the blog was talking about. So in order to fix my little mistake there, I think what I'm going to do is place that one and then put that yellow on top. Check my glue stick here and see if it's ready. Test it on this side one here. Yep, all right. Okay. Scoot that off. I don't think we need a whole lot of hot glue. Just gonna put a thin layer there. A little extra for these guys. Okay. Oops, I got my finger there. It's okay because we're gonna put that yellow flower over top, I think. I think one helpful thing is if you have some tweezers, those could probably be helpful for placement. That's fun, I like that. All right. The question is, do I want to put something else on there? I'm just gonna hold it about where it will be in the frame so I can decide what else I want to put on here. That. Maybe I should have done that in the middle. Let's see. Flower arranging is not my thing. I did my own flowers for our wedding and I realized why they are so expensive because they are a pain to do. God bless you if you do that for a living. It's hard. All right. So I think maybe that's what I want to do. I don't know. I don't want it to be too busy, but this is offset enough. I need something down here. I wonder if I want to just do another sprig of these yellow flowers on the bottom. Well, what would it look like if I put it in upside down? Let's see. I don't know what I want to do. Do you have opinions? I should have just centered that.
No, like that.
Should I just leave it there? Or should I put a purple?
I think that's okay without the purple.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to step away and not overdo. Sometimes you have that problem with craft projects. You just need to leave it and not add more to it. I think this is where I'm gonna leave this one. So actually this one is kind of scraped just by the nature of how these work. this in here. So you could do this with any picture frame. You just need to you can either glue it right to the glass and just have the flowers on top. I'm not sure how that would work, if that would eventually, dry them out even further. I'm not sure. Or if it needs to be secure between two panels. It's probably easiest and cleaner between two panels. All right, so that is how our flower turned out. You can see that. All right, and then this sits like this. And then you have a nice little piece of artwork. So obviously, if you have flowers in your garden or at your house, you can pick them fresh and use the ones that you've grown yourself. Or if you're like us and you don't have flowers, go ahead and get a bouquet and play around with it. It was a little harder because we're not going into the store, so I didn't get to pick the flowers, but I think this turned out pretty cool. I would do this again in the future. I thought the method worked really well, and I would recommend this method if you were looking to press some flowers for a project. I think it's great for the time that it cuts out, and also that it doesn't fade the color as much, because obviously one of the things we love about flowers is their vibrant color. So that is our project for today. If you have any questions, let us know. I will put the product information for the bricks in there. And IKEA still sells these. It's one of their, it's just continually in their storehouse. So I know those are $1 a piece still. So, all right. If you guys end up doing this, put your pictures down below so we can see what you guys did. I'd love to be able to look at your artwork. Thanks. Bye.